Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. I am so excited about today's dinner recipe. You guys are going to love this lamb dinner. I'll be making my Mediterranean style roasted rack of lamb encrusted with garlic, herbs, and mustard, and we'll be serving the lamb with a creamy and garlicky tzatziki sauce and a simple cucumber tomato salad. I also love to add my oven roasted baby potatoes. I made that recipe just a couple days ago, so make sure to check out that video as well. You guys are going to love how all these flavors come together. That creamy garlicky tzatziki sauce is everything. It makes the lamb really pop. I love the freshness of that tomato and cucumber salad, and the oven roasted potatoes are just perfect here as well. Let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make this incredible lamb dinner. It is perfect year round. It's just so incredibly delicious. And for today's recipe, I'll be using 2 racks of lamb that I picked up at my local grocery store. These are already French, so all the hard work is done for me. All I did was take them out of the packaging, pat them dry, and now I could get started on my garlic and herb spread. This spread just transforms the lamb meat, and it's so incredibly delicious. Even if you don't typically like lamb meat, you guys have to give this recipe a try, because this spread and then that creamy tzatziki sauce make this lamb just unbelievably amazing. And it's super easy to make this spread in a food processor. I'm going to add in about a 1/3 cup of fresh rosemary and a 1/4 cup of fresh thyme. Now I'm only using the leaves, not the stems. Next, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of mustard. And I like my lamb extra garlicky. You can add anywhere from 8 to 12 cloves of garlic. Drop that in. 2 teaspoons of salt, a little ground black pepper. And I'm going to start by adding about a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and then if I need more, I can add some more later. And then pulse this all together into a paste. I've transferred my lamb onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and now we're ready to apply our spread. So what I like to do is grab a little spatula, and we're going to apply a thin spread on the back side of the lamb chops first. So go ahead and turn them over. You want to make sure that you get this spread all over so that every single bite has some of that incredible garlicky and herb flavor. And make sure you get those sides as well. And then I'll turn them over and apply this spread on the top side as well. And once I have my lamb nicely coated with this incredible spread, I'm just going to let it stand at room temperature for about an hour, and then in 30 minutes I'm going to start preheating my oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. While this lamb is resting, I'm going to make my creamy tzatziki sauce, my cucumber tomato salad, and I also like to make my oven roasted baby potatoes. I have a separate video recipe for the potatoes. I'll include the link down in the video description box below. You guys are going to love this spread with the sauce, the salad, and the potatoes. It's so perfect for summer, but really you can enjoy it any time of the year. And let's get started with this creamy tzatziki sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is grate 1 peeled English cucumber into a bowl that I've lined with a cheesecloth. We're going to wring out as much moisture as we can out of this cucumber. Just grate it into the bowl. And I'm going to season the grated cucumber lightly with some salt. Mix that in, and then let this stand for about 5 minutes and allow that moisture just to come out from the cucumber. Then we'll wring it dry. And while I'm waiting on the cucumber, I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients in a food processor. I'll be using 2 cups of strained yogurt, plain yogurt. You can also use Greek yogurt for this recipe. And I'll pour in a couple tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm going to add in about 1/2 cup of mint leaves. And a small bundle, about a 1/4 cup of fresh dill. And I like my sauce extra garlicky, so I'm going to add about 8 cloves of garlic. You can add anywhere from 4 to 8. And I'll season the sauce with about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and some ground black pepper. And then I'll grab my grated cucumber and twist all that excess liquid out of there. And there's quite a bit of liquid that comes out, so you want to make sure that you do this before you add the cucumber. And I'll add my cucumber to the food processor as well. Close this with my lid and then pulse this for about a minute. And then I'm going to pour this incredible sauce into a little serving bowl. How good does that look? It's so smooth and creamy. It's going to be the perfect side for our lamb chops. And now that I have my sauce done, I'm going to switch gears and make my easy cucumber tomato salad. We're going to season it with basil, mint, and dill, and those fresh herbs are going to make the flavors just pop. You guys are going to love it. So today I'm going to be using some cocktail cucumbers. I get these little ones at Costco. I love the flavor, but you can also use English cucumbers for this recipe. I'm just going to grab a knife and we're going to chop the tomatoes and the cucumbers into about 1/2 inch cubes. And next up we have our tomatoes. I like to use 2 to 3 medium to large size tomatoes, and I especially like to use heirloom tomatoes when they're in season during the summertime. Just makes this salad so incredibly delicious. And next up we have our fresh herbs. I have a little bit of fresh mint, dill, and some basil. Just actually going to stack these all up and give them a chop. And the last ingredient we need to chop are 2 shallots. Just going to give them a rough chop here. Add the shallots into the salad. And I'm going to squeeze in some fresh lemon juice. This is going to make the salad really pop with freshness. Going to season the salad with a little bit of ground black pepper and some salt to taste. I like my foods a little bit on the saltier side, so I'll probably add a little bit more. And I'm going to dress the salad with a good quality olive oil. Drizzle about 2 to 3 tablespoons over the top. Now when you're making this salad at home, I recommend waiting to dress it until you're ready to serve, because while that lamb bakes in the oven, a lot of the juices from the tomatoes and the cucumbers are going to start to come out. So just wait until like the last 5 minutes before dressing and assembling the salad. And then just use a spoon and toss this all together. It smells so incredible. That fresh basil, the mint, the dill make the salad so, so delicious and very, very aromatic. And my lamb is rested and ready for the oven. I've preheated mine to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to roast it with the fat side up first for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to turn the lamb over, roast it on the other side for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to turn it back over and finish roasting for another 5 to 7 to 8 minutes until the internal temperature reaches 125 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a really great medium rare doneness. If you want your lamb to be more done, I recommend increasing that cooking time, and you want the internal temperature to be about 130, 135. And when you turn these back over, the spread likes to come off the top. So what I like to do is just grab a little spatula and just spread it back onto the top. And to check the doneness of my lammy, I love to use a digital meat thermometer. Insert it all the way in. It's still at 97.5. I love this one. It's off of Amazon. I'll include a link down in the video description box below. And then once my lamb reaches temperature, I like to let it rest on a carving board for about 5 to 7 minutes. And then I grab a long carving knife. Check out this lamb. It is so, so juicy on the inside. Look at that, looks so good. And now let's bring it all together to create one delicious meal. So I'm going to start with my oven roasted potatoes. Add those. These are going to be so perfect with the lamb. They're so incredibly delicious. And I'm going to add a little bit of that tomato cucumber salad on the side. And I like to do 2 pieces of lamb for each serving. Just prop them up on the potatoes. And I'm going to add some of my tzatziki sauce on the side. And of course you can definitely add more. I love to add tons and tons of this when I'm eating my lamb. That's it, ready to be enjoyed. And I want to cut into this lamb so you guys could see what it looks like. It's just so incredibly tender and juicy, and it's going to be perfect with this garlicky tzatziki sauce. Oh, look at this, so good. And that's it for my rack of lamb dinner recipe. This spread is just incredible. The salad, the potatoes, the sauce with that juicy lamb. It's the perfect dinner for spring and summertime. It's just such a delicious meal. For the full recipe, don't forget to head on down the video description box. I'll have all the ingredients down there, and you can also visit my website for the full recipe. Meanwhile, let's dig in to enjoy. This looks so good, and it smells so incredibly amazing too when it's in the oven. And I like to grab a little bit of this lamb meat and dip it into the sauce. This sauce is everything. It makes this lamb so incredibly delicious. Absolutely incredible. That lamb is so incredibly juicy and flavorful. I love that garlic, herb, and mustard spread on there. It's really given the lamb just an amazing, fantastic flavor. I'm gonna grab some of these potatoes as well. And I like to dip everything into this sauce. This sauce is so good. And we have to grab a little bit of the salad as well. I love the combination here of the basil, the mint, and the dill. It just makes the salad so fresh, and it really complements the lamb with the potatoes. Just phenomenal. Hands down the best lamb dinner ever. All these different components come together and they just create this beautiful explosion of flavors in your mouth. That lamb is so juicy and flavorful. Even if you don't like lamb, I recommend giving this one a try, because that garlic and herb spread really mellow out the gaminess and the flavor of the lamb, and it makes it exceptionally delicious. You have the sauce, the potatoes, the salad. It's just amazing. This is just one heavenly meal. Definitely one of my favorites. I hope you guys enjoy this meal at home as much as I do. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.